first thing I want to show you is the biorhythm report. This is the icon for that. It says BR, and there are red, green, and yellow graphs. This one shows the biorhythm of the physical, the emotional, and the mental aspects of our health. This does not have anything to do with the information that can be taken from the meridians or from the acupuncture points. This is based on the date of birth of the patient. This is something that we cannot do anything about, because all these cycles are already in nature and they already exist. They have been established for over 100 years. The physical, which is shown here by the red wave, is a cycle of 23 days. The green one shows the emotional aspect, and the blue one shows the intellectual aspect. The emotional aspect has a 28-day cycle, and the intellectual aspect has a 33-day cycle. So when you look at the emotional aspect, which is the middle, it's a 28-day cycle. It coincides with the lunar cycle, or the normal or average menstrual periods of women. And then the physical is 5 days shorter, and the intellectual is 5 days longer than this cycle. If the physical part is set here at low, most of the time you will see that the patient is very weak, and this is actually one of those times when you do a treatment on a person and that they almost don't respond. Sometimes this doesn't have to do anymore with the treatment of the patient. This is just really the cycle of the body. When it starts to go down and it starts to cross zero, this area, this is when many patients, especially those who are chronically ill or those who are already on their deathbed, death is very imminent here. There are records of patients dying on this time, so be very careful with that. When you look at the emotional aspect, the green wave, this one can also help us determine how the patient will respond psychologically to particular treatments. Sometimes they feel it, sometimes they don't, and they can get very moody. And this one actually can help us also with females, because there are particular cases when hormonal problems can easily be detected, because you'll be noticing, like, say, lumps can be bigger when they're very emotionally down. You can also see that when they're emotionally getting better, they also respond to treatment better. And when you look at the intellectual aspect, the blue, there are times that we would like to educate the patients on the kinds of treatment or even the diagnosis. And when they are intellectually down, they won't be able to understand you, no matter how hard you try to explain something. And it would be best if the wave was going up. By the way, this chart shows you a full month. It's 2 weeks before and 2 weeks after the actual date of test. So you will just have to choose when the test is taken. So example, if I close this, oops, sorry, I closed everything. Let's go back to that one. This test was taken May 16. May 16, that's here, 16. So this is the actual day. So this is my test. So intellectually, I'm okay on that day, physically and emotionally not. And then I can see 2 weeks before and 2 weeks after. So at least there is a chart where you can determine when it is best to do the next test, or if there's a test before it, how I would have responded to the diagnosis given or the treatments given. And that's it for this chart. I'll come back to discuss another chart soon.